Week 3 was a crazy week in the NFL, so these power rankings, I don't know how I feel about them. I think they're a little wacky, but let's do it. So coming in at number 32, I have the Houston Texans. So they gave up over 20 points to the Bears, even though Justin Fields only completed 8 passes. And oh yeah, Davis Mills has not looked as good as he did week 1. At number 31, I have the Seattle Seahawks. So they lost a close game versus the Falcons, but that's 2 L's in a row for Seattle. At number 30, I have the New York Jets, a really big loss for them versus the Bengals. This game wasn't even close, and this defense looked really bad in this game. At number 29, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. They are the only 0-3 team in the NFL. They allowed Ryan Tannehill to look decent, which isn't good. And I'll just say this, Josh McDaniels, he's not going to be the head coach at the end of the year, and he shouldn't be hired as a head coach again. It's just not for him. He's a good offensive coordinator. He should just be an offensive coordinator. At number 28, I have the Chicago Bears. Who would have thought the Bears would have a winning record at any point this season? Right now, they have the same record as the Packers, the Bucks, the Chiefs, the Bills. Who would have thought? The wins, they haven't been ugly. I mean, they haven't been pretty. They've been ugly. But listen, they're getting it done, and that's all that matters. At number 27, I have the Carolina Panthers. Surprising win for them versus the Saints. Their defense really carried them in this game. Their offense couldn't do much, but CMC, he's starting to look like CMC again. He had over 100 rushing yards in this one. At number 26, we have the Atlanta Falcons. So the Falcons finally play a full game. The first 2 weeks of the season, they were close in both their games, but just couldn't complete the game. This week, they get their first win on the road versus Seattle. At number 25, I have the Washington Commanders. This might be the ugliest loss in the NFL this week. I mean, this game was absolutely brutal for Washington. Carson Wentz, he got sacked 9 times. They gave up 24 points in the second quarter alone and didn't score any points for themselves until the fourth quarter. Not a single point till the fourth quarter when the game was already over. At number 24, I have the New England Patriots. So they were close with the Ravens. They were competitive with them until the end, but they just weren't able to stop Lamar because Lamar has been playing fantastic, and that's understandable. But the big thing here is Mac Jones went out with a high ankle sprain. Apparently, this high ankle sprain is severe, and he's going to miss a few weeks. From what I read online, if it's a grade 3, I didn't see what grade it is, but severe makes me think grade 3. There's full tears in his ligament or ligaments plural. So not a good outlook right now for the Patriots. At number 23, I have the Detroit Lions. I thought they were going to pull this out versus the Vikings. I really wanted them to win this game versus the Vikings, but they collapsed in the fourth quarter. They give up 14 points in the fourth quarter and didn't score any. And with that went their lead, and they lost this game. At number 22, I have the Indianapolis Colts. Maybe the most shocking win of the week. They upset the Chiefs, who have looked really good in the first 2 weeks of the season. The Colts haven't looked that good at all. They were my number 32 team last week. This team desperately needed that win, and Matt Ryan actually looked not terrible in this game, which is a good sign. At number 21, I have the Tennessee Titans. They got their desperately needed first win of the season versus the Raiders. They low-key almost choked this game away, though, because they didn't put up a single point in the second half, and the Raiders offense was starting to, get going in the second half. But I think this was Derrick Henry's best game of the season so far, which is good for them because obviously they rely heavily on him, especially with the way Tannehill's been playing. At number 20, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tough loss for them versus the Browns. You can tell how much this defense relies on TJ Watt because when he's not in, you could tell how much of a game changer he is because of how different this defense looks. And oh yeah, this offense, it's still not good. At number 19, I have the Arizona Cardinals. They didn't score a single touchdown in this week's loss versus the Rams. I really don't understand why this team extended Cliff Kingsbury in the offseason. At number 18, I have the Cleveland Browns. So a nice win for them versus their division rival, the Steelers. Jacoby Brissett, he had a really nice game, and he was the one who really led this team to the dub. At number 17, I have the New Orleans Saints, so a really tough loss for them versus the Panthers. I was surprised they lost this game. This offense, it looks really, really bad. They couldn't score a single point till the fourth quarter, and I really wonder how much Jameis's back is bothering him because I don't know how he's playing with fractures in his back. At number 16, I have the San Francisco 49ers. So they lost on Sunday Night Football to the Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo did not look good out there. I mean, he looked good. He just didn't look like good playing football. Let me say this, a little hot take here now that we're talking about it. All the guys, all the boys really hype up Jimmy G. They're always like, oh my God, Jimmy G, you're so attractive. Best looking guy in the NFL. As a girly, let me just say this. Yes, Jimmy G, very good looking guy, right? But I think there's a few guys in the league that are actually more attractive than him. So I'll say that. I'll say that. The guys are really just obsessed with Jimmy G. I will say that. I'm kind of surprised how much the guys are in love with Jimmy G. At number 15, I have the New York Giants. So they lost, so I don't know how they ended up moving up one spot in my power ranking. But yeah, this offensive line is absolutely atrocious. This defensive line could not get pressure on Cooper Rush, which is concerning because they got their 2 top edge rushers back this week. So why couldn't they rush the passer? At number 14, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. So a really embarrassing loss for them versus the Jaguars, a surprising loss for them versus the Jaguars. But the big concern with this team right now is the injuries. How healthy is this team going to be for the rest of the season? Keenan Allen didn't play this game again because he was injured. Their left tackle, Rashawn Slater, went out with an injury that will sideline him for the rest of the season, which is huge. I can't overstate how big that injury is for the Chargers and how much that's going to hurt them. I mean, he was outstanding his rookie year, and especially with Justin Herbert already having these rib issues, like his rib injury, now you're going to bring in another new offensive lineman. I'm nervous for Herbie. I wonder how much his ribs were affecting him in this game. And yeah, I just want to know, how healthy is this team going to be? At number 13, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the thing that led to the Jaguars flying up my power ranking is that the fact that they had 2 back-to-back big wins where they won by a ton. They were insanely dominant wins. This defense is really legit. And Trevor is looking like the Trevor Lawrence we saw in Clemson now that he's away from Urban Meyer. At number 12, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. So they got their first win of the season versus the Jets. Yes, it was versus the Jets, but they looked pretty dominant in this game. This offense is looking more like the offense that we saw last season. At number 11, I have the Minnesota Vikings. So a nice comeback win for them versus the Lions. Kirk, he had a decent bounce back game. Like, obviously he didn't play as bad as he played on Monday Night Football because, this game wasn't in prime time. And Dalvin Cook finally got going in this game before he ended up leaving with an injury. At number 10, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Like, how is Cooper Rush so good? That's what I want to know. How is this guy so good? And how has he not lost a game yet as a starter? Like, he doesn't do anything spectacular or make any crazy plays, but he just does everything he has to do to win. He just doesn't miss the throws that you have to miss to lose a game. Like, he just hits those throws, like that CD throw back at the end zone for the touchdown, that fade. That was a really nice throw. This defense, really dominant. This pass rush was absolutely on fire last night. At number 9, I have the Denver Broncos. I gotta say this, they got the win versus the 49ers, right? But this game made me really uncomfortable about the Broncos. Like, the Broncos just make me uncomfortable. I really have no faith in them. Russell Wilson has not been good at all, and I don't trust this team going forward. I don't trust them. At number 8, I have the Los Angeles Rams, so a nice win for them versus the Cardinals. It wasn't anything crazy, but this defense kept the Cardinals out of the end zone the whole entire game. At number 7, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so they lost a close one versus the Packers. They almost came back to tie it, but the 2-point conversion didn't convert, and they lost the game. They got to get healthy. The Bucs got to get healthy on offense. They need that O-line to get healthy. They need their wide receivers to get healthy because this offense was not looking good, but I think once they get healthy, it will look better. At number 6, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Are trap games possible as early as week 3? Are they possible? Because I did not see the Chiefs losing to the Colts at all. Like, this is the most shocking game of the week for me. And there was an even more shocking end to this game where the Chiefs didn't put up a single point in the fourth quarter and Patrick Mahomes threw a game-ending interception. Like, how often do we see that happen? At number 5, I have the Green Bay Packers, so a nice solid win for them versus the Buccaneers. It was a close game, a tough, defensive, gritty battle. The offense didn't do anything crazy, but like I said, this defense held on to allow them to get this dub. At number 4, I have the Baltimore Ravens, so Lamar Jackson is continuing his outstanding play this season. He did so again in this game versus the Patriots, led them to this win, and the defense was actually able to hold on to the lead late in the game in this one. At number 3, I have the Buffalo Bills, a heartbreaker of a loss for them versus the Dolphins. I mean, that was the best game of the week, though, by far. What an exciting game. What a good game. What a battle. But I'm not concerned about the Bills. I'm not concerned about them. It was a tough loss, but they'll be fine, guys. At number 2, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Another dominant performance by Jalen Hurts. Another dominant win from this Eagles team. Great on both sides of the ball. And this team is really, really, really legit, guys. And coming in at number 1, I have the Miami Dolphins. You gotta put them at number 1. They took down last week's number 1 team. That was the Bills. They were number 1 on the power ranking last week. The Dolphins, they're undefeated, taking down the number 1 team. What more can they do to be the number 1 team? I mean, Tua is continuing to play really well. This defense surprised me in a good way. I didn't expect them to play this good versus this Bills offense. And I think the Dolphins defense was really the first defense to actually slow down this Bills offense this season. That is it for this video, guys. Let me know who your top 5 teams are. I'm curious to see in the comments down below. Appreciate you watching until the end. Peace.